Hey troops, it is GeneralJSmith here, otherwise known as Josh, with another LEGO Star Wars 2014 set review. And today we have the very highly anticipated UCS Sandcrawler. Set number 75059, ages 14 plus, because it is definitely not a set for the younger kids. Comes with 3,296 pieces because it's just enormous, and that's like double what the previous one had. And it retailing for £250 or $300. So yeah, the price is really good for the amount of pieces you get, you know. We get a bunch of new figures, however, saying that, you know, there's nothing amazing about them as such. They're not as much practical as perhaps others, but nonetheless, they are still pretty new and pretty cool. A lot of them we've been anticipating for a very long time to get again, and, well, yeah. So, this set is, well, it's enormous, and it's, well, just epic. It's got features coming out of everywhere. It's probably one of the better UCS sets because of the amount of features. Some UCS sets, like the, perhaps Super Star Destroyer or perhaps B-Wing, they're not as good, mainly because they don't have as many features. They're literally meant for display. And while this is also display, because it's massive, there are also a ton of features and you get a ton of figures, and it is actually, you know, can be quite, you know, playful. And you can actually buy it for your younger son. Perhaps you'll have to build it, but, you know, and he can play with it a lot. And it's just a really cool thing. Saying that, though, and talking about cost, I recommend it as it is very good, you know. Price per piece is very good, yet nonetheless, despite it's very good, it is still £250. And in fact, someone asked me, I'm so sorry, but I've forgotten their name. Someone asked me, would I recommend getting this or perhaps some of the Summerline sets? And I wouldn't. Because, you know, if it's an option, like, it probably is for you, you know, you probably can't afford every single set. You know, if it's an option between buying this or some of the Summerline sets, I would recommend the Summerline sets because, you know, you could get like an 8080 and the Star Destroyer and like maybe another one, you know, for the same price you could get this. Don't get me wrong, this is definitely a very, very good set, but it's not really worth those really good sets as well. You know, just for a few reasons. So, if you are, you know, if you can't afford every set, which you probably can't, then I suppose I would recommend you skip this one and save your money for the summer sets. We can get more of the really awesome ones. But anyway, that's just my general immediate opinion on it. And without further ado, let's actually start doing this review. It's probably going to take forever, but, you know, whatever. Let's just start with the figures. Starting off, we have Luke Skywalker. Now I'm just going to take his blue lightsaber off here at the moment, because he does obviously come one, because it's not technically accurate to the actual scene, because this is the scene where him and his uncle go to buy the droids, you know, R2-D2 and C-3PO, and at this point he hasn't actually met Obi-Wan Kenobi yet, so he doesn't have his blue lightsaber. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not like, I don't blame LEGO, you know, I'm not angry because of that or anything, because it's not technically consistent, because at the end of the day, if you do really want to recreate the scene, just take his lightsaber off, you know, it's not a big deal, you know, I don't really care if he comes with a lightsaber. You know, it's just, well, you know, it's not a big deal, really. So more into the figure itself, this figure isn't really anything ridiculously special. Comparing him to the Channel 11 one we've got in the Millennium Falcon, you can see the only real differences are the face, which has slightly more detail, and the legs, really. The torsos, I think, are exactly the same, except the new one is actually slightly less detailed. As you can see there, the old one had more wrinkles. Starting with the legs, the major difference is the fact the colour of the actual legs themselves. Now, the problem with the old one was the fact that, and not just this figure, but all of them, you know, when you're trying to print, like, lighter colours onto darker, you know, body parts, the darker thing sort of tends to show through. That's why this white does not look the same as that white. On this one, they've sort of rectified that by making the whole legs white and, you know, like, printing it. Technically, it's not as realistic, and you know, this is actually more canny to the actual Star Wars, but nonetheless, I actually like this one more. It looks better, just generally, and I think it's a better figure, much better representation of Luke. Look at his legs right here, you know, nothing much to say about it. It's sort of, like, it does sort of go into his belt a bit, at the right angle, but, you know, it's not the best in the world, but that's okay, I guess. Yeah, but nothing really much to say about it, you know, it's just a mixture of black and sort of, I don't know what colour that is, but whatever that is. You know, despite the fact it is new, it's nothing amazing, really. Onto the torsos, you can actually see in the Channel 11 one, it was sort of more detailed with more wrinkles and stuff. So yeah, and actually you can notice the pouch there is bigger on Channel 11 one than this one, which is weird. Why would they sort of change that? But not that it's, you know, a big issue, I don't really care, but, you know, nonetheless, it's kind of weird. But anyway, also, if you notice these sort of triangles in the middle, or not the middle, like the top, this one's actually, I think, a slightly different shade. This one's closer to his flesh colour than this one actually is. I never noticed until now. But, I mean, it might just be me. Please do down in the comments if you think so as well. But the sort of triangles of flesh at the top, they're very, very slightly different shades, you know. That's only really something I would notice, but, you know. So, yeah, it's actually more detailed. This one we get back printing. The Channel 11 one we didn't. So that's really cool. But nothing really to say about it again, you know. It's just pretty basic back printing. The face, the hair pieces are exactly the same. Exact same molds. Alright, looking at the face, you can see it is more detailed, you know. I've forgotten the actor who plays him, I'm so sorry, but, you know, it's more like him, you know, not his wrinkles as such, but like his, you know, just lines, like cheekbones and all that in his face. Far more detailed, that's really, really awesome. It's more sort of serious, normal face. And then this I have more grin. I don't actually remember making this face in, like, the episode at some point, but I mean, you know, I suppose, you know, he wasn't exactly doing it when his uncle was killed. Spoiler alert, I suppose. But, yeah, so you do get a double-sided face. That's pretty cool. And he comes with a lightsaber. But that's just generally Luke Skywalker. Nothing really, nowhere really to go for him in this set. Just, you know, he just walks out with Owen Lars by the droids. But anyway, so that's him. That's Luke Skywalker. Next one we have is Owen Lars. This is basically just Luke's uncle, if you do not know, which really, you know, how do you not know? And yeah, this is basically the second version we've got, and the only other version we've got in the Channel 5 Sandcrawler, so it's really great to get another version of him, and he's been much improved in the last 9 years. That is really awesome. Going straight to the legs, you can see the same problem as we got with Luke, of the fact that, you know, you printing like lighter colours onto darker legs. These legs aren't black, if you can't tell. They are sort of dark brown. But, you know, but it's alright, I guess. I don't really mind that much, you know. I mean, they hardly could do it the other way around, could they? So, you know, it's not a big issue and all that. Now, actually, this torso actually reminds me quite a lot of Obi-Wan's torso from the Mos Eisley Cantina that's coming out later this year. If you actually see it, he's got like these new robes and stuff. It actually reminds me a lot of that. It might be the same torso, except obviously the robe is brown with Obi-Wan Kenobi. I might be completely wrong, but it reminds me a lot of that, just from the pictures we've seen. So, you know, when I get the Mos Eisley Cantina, I'll compare it, and, you know, I'll show you them. Just, you know, that general cream arms, flesh hands. He gets the hood in the back here, you know, quite large hood. I'm not sure we ever saw him with his hood up in the episode 4, but, you know, I assume he has one, obviously. So that's really awesome. He gets his hood. This hairpiece on top, I think we have seen this before. Please do down in the comments if we have. I'm pretty sure this isn't new, but it is kind of rare. And I'm glad that, unlike in the previous version of Owen Lars, we didn't just get the normal sort of smooth hairpiece. And it does have more sort of texture to it. And, you know, just, it looks a lot better, you know. Just looks so much cooler and everything. He only has a one-sided face, by the way. This is his only sided face. He's sort of, you know, happy grin with his stubble and all that. That's him. Very nice figure. But yeah, there's nothing really more. And there you go then. That is, I suppose, you know, really cool. Oh yeah, also the last thing I want to mention, he's really cool, don't get me wrong, but I would have loved it so much if we got his wife. I'm so sorry I've forgotten her name as well. But, you know, basically Luke's aunt, that would have been awesome as well. And it's tragic the fact we didn't. We've never had her before. It would have been awesome if we did. And the Lego could have made us. There's no new molds or anything that could have been required. It would have been awesome if we got him, but, you know, maybe next time we'll get her, hopefully. I don't know. But yeah, that would have been awesome. So yeah, that's Owen Lars. Next up we have is R2-D2. Nothing much to say about him. This is the exact same R2 we got in the Jedi Interceptor, but it's cool to see the new version again. Yeah, if you've seen the Jedi Interceptor, if you have it, then obviously, you know, there won't be anything new to you. But even if you don't, then really, you know, there's nothing out of this world new about. I mean, they've sort of outlined, or rather, highlighted more the blue in his chest, you know, canister, whatever that is, and obviously the chrome head piece or dome. And all that, but you know, it's R2-D2. We've seen it before. If you've got the Jedi Interceptor, or if you've seen my review of that, which is by the way on my channel, then you know you would have seen this guy before. He is really cool. He's the best variant of R2-D2 we've ever got. well, I mean, he's only the third variant, so it's not really saying that much, but nonetheless, he's still really cool, and obviously, you know, I'd expect him to come in this set, you know, because really, how would he not? But, you know, there you go, it's just R2-D2, you know, and it's cool to get another one of him if you don't have him already, but really, come on. There are so many R2-D2s in the world that really you can sell them for like a penny. Jeez, you can make an army of astromechs. That's what I want to see one day, an army of astromechs. R2-D2. Now on to the next figure, which in my opinion is very cool. We have C-3PO in his sort of new, you know, printing and all that. My word, he looks awesome. He's even got the straining bolt and everything. Now, I believe, now if you actually think about it, C-3PO is a pretty rare figure. How many times have we ever got him? You know, he's quite rare these days. This is only my second ever C-3PO. I believe the last time we got him was in the Droid Escape in 2012. I believe that he did have quite a lot of printing, except he didn't have this leg printing and everything. I'm not entirely sure what printing he did have, but, you know, we'll start from the head. The head is the exact same mold. Obviously, these are all the exact same mold, except these are sort of the more coloured yellows of his eyes, which are really awesome. I'm so glad they did that, you know, vastly improved. So it's just, I love the really little details, the things they don't have to do, yeah, they still do. We've even got a straining bolt there, you know, it's just awesome. You know, you can see sort of like the tatted, you know, sand abrasion and all that stuff from the Tatooine. And it's just really awesome. Obviously, everything about him is completely gold. The legs are probably things you want to see. The new legs. Oh, yes. Now, the main thing is this silver leg. Yay. Or rather, half silver leg. A lot of people have been saying that how does it cut off? This isn't just C-3PO. It's mostly clones and all sorts that just sort of cuts off. Now, many people thinking, well, that's just where the Lego machines stop. I don't think that's true, because actually, if you see Iron Man and some other figures from other lines, they actually have printing that goes all the way down, and I don't really understand that then. Why, you know, but I guess, you know, at the end of the day, you can just tell it's silver, and I'm glad they finally incorporated that. You know, we've had C-3PO for, what, 15 years now? So I'm glad they finally gave us his silver leg, or half leg, or half leg, you know, so that's really awesome. Sort of chromy, that is really nice, sort of shiny in that way. But yeah, really, he does come back printing. Very nice, you know. And all about C-3PO, and again, you know, obviously I'd expect him to get in the set. I'm so glad they've sort of revamped him and, you know, really given him much better quality. This is definitely a very nice C-3PO, very worthy of being C-3PO. You know, just yeah, awesome. Next one we have is, I'm afraid I do not know the name of it. It might be somewhere on the box or in the instructions, but let's just call him the Red Astromech Droid. This is basically the exact same Astromech Droid, if I'm not mistaken, as we got in the 2012 X-Wing. I reviewed that, by the way. You can go check that out on my channel as well. Nothing really to say about him. Yeah, I mean, he's got this fairly new dome piece, you know, that we've seen since, in fact, 2012. And it's cool that, you know, he actually played a part in Episode 4. He's not just, like, there for effect. You know, he's sort of the one that they were meant to take before they took R2-D2, but then he sort of broke down, so they took R2-D2. Watch the actual film. But yeah, it's cool to have him, you know, something for the Jawas to play with and whatever. He's just one of many astromechs. He doesn't come with back printing, which is another thing I want to mention. One of the things I've been saying a lot with astromechs is I wish I want them back printing. They've never come with them, but that would be awesome if they did. I mean, don't get me wrong, the back printing would be pretty basic, but still be awesome for LEGO to do that. You know, that would have been amazing, but anyway. But that's just basically the Red Astromech Droid. Nothing much to say about him, and yeah, that's what the Jawas play with, or something. Next up we have is, we're going to call it the Green Astromech Droid. He's probably got a name as well, but you know, whatever. Now, we've never actually seen this guy before. He is completely new and unique, so that is really awesome. However, saying that, he is, at the end of the day, just an astromech. And once really you've seen one astromech, you've kind of seen them all. The thing that sort of intrigues me is the fact that he's got all these sort of outline bits, but they're not coloured. Now, that's pretty rare. You really don't see that very often, the fact that they're not coloured in anything, you know, the same colour as the actual dome. So that is kind of cool. They're just sort of outlined, you know. But he's, you know, green. And really, what you see is what you get. There's nothing, you know, out of this world about him. I think you can probably guess what he's going to be like. You know, it's just same pieces, same, all that, you know, same printing except slight coloured green and yeah. But it's just kind of interesting fact there's no colour on here whatsoever. And it's kind of weird to see it, you know, not coloured in. Almost looks like, you know, a child hasn't coloured in yet. But anyway. But yeah, that's just the green astromech, and he's unique. That's really cool. What I want to see one day, please do like a video if you've got a YouTube channel of like an astromech army, because that would be awesome. You probably have like 1,000 of R2D2, because who doesn't? But you know, so yeah, that's just the green astromech. Then another droid for the Jawas to play with. And now the next figure, possibly one of my favourite droids in the whole Star Wars universe. It is, of course, the Gonk droid. My word, I loved to destroy this guy so much when I was playing LEGO Star Wars 1. Oh my days, it was so fun. Now, he's actually extremely rare, more rare than you may think. We only got him, I think, in like the previous Sandcrawler and maybe a couple of other sets like a long time ago. So this is the really, you know, first time we've got him in many years. So it's really awesome. The main difference is the fact that this one is actually more constructive than the old ones were. The old ones were more just sort of like these actual sort of cupboard pieces. I'm not sure if you can really understand what I'm saying, but you know those sort of like cupboard things in LEGO, where they sort of flip up and everything. Yeah, that's basically what he was with legs, but now they've really revamped him and he's more of a constructive build. You know, sort of thing you'd get in like an advent calendar, but I don't think we will be getting me in the advent calendar. But it would be really awesome if you would, because I love the Gonk droid. They're so funny and just so awesome. Technically speaking, I think he's meant to be sort of longer, but you know, that's alright. This is the only printed piece in the entire set, by the way. It is pretty basic, but nonetheless, it is printed. Every other piece you may see is, does have a sticker on it. So that's unfortunate, but this is printing, that's awesome. But yeah, it's a really nice thing, you know. You can sort of turn his legs very slightly, but not really much. And it's just, I love the Gonk droid, my word. Oh my days. Please like this video if you love Gonk droids. I love Gonk droids. I should make like a t-shirt of that. Alright, so the next droid we have, I'm so sorry, but I've completely forgotten the name of this one. I did know it earlier, actually, but yeah, it escapes me now. But basically what this is just, well, another, like the Gonk droid, is in a way just like a little constructive build. I like this piece in the middle, by the way, you know, that sort of black piece there, which sort of connects the arms and all the things to it, you know, that's kind of rare. We've only seen that like maybe a few other sets. I think it's pretty new, so that's really awesome. It's obviously easy spinnable, as you can see here. That's really awesome. The arms are fully movable. Just simple as, you know, and all that. He hasn't got any wheels or anything. It's just like these sliding things, you know, just because it's smooth, it can easily, you know, slide along and all that. He's just like, you know, his it's just basically a binoculars piece on top of like a flick-fire missile that's attached to the thing. You can sort of spin it round, because obviously you can spin it, but like the thing is, because it's only attached by one stud and it's really, you know, flimsy, it can very easily just come off like that. And I cannot tell you how many times I've lost that piece, like, I just, you know, from building it. So I've actually had to get some of my own of these binocular pieces, because they're so easy to lose, because they're only connected by, you know. So don't really try to turn it that much, because you almost definitely will, you know, drop it, and because it's so small, you'll lose it, and yeah, but it's still really cool to have, and we did get him in the old Sandcrawler, but this one is far improved over the last one. This one is just so awesome. He's just such an immense figure, and he's just epic, really. I love this guy. You know, this guy's just awesome. He looks awesome, and yeah, a very accurate representation of whatever this droid is meant to be. So, yeah. And now on to the last droid. I know, it's sad, you know, but we actually have here, I don't know what this name is, but actually what I do know is the fact this is a prototype astromech droid. That's right. Before they had these guys, before they had R2D2, they had these guys. And, well, yeah, basically, that's all really I know the backstory on them. Again, just like the Gonk droid and the previous droid, you know, he is sort of like a mini build. Just, you know, and sort of thing you would get in an advent calendar. I'm not sure if we will, but, you know, it'd be kind of cool if we did. I sort of joke around saying these are rocket boosters, but they're not really. You know, obviously. He has an antenna. It can move, but it's meant to stay straight up, I believe. The only printed bits are, like, this dome piece. And it's kind of cool, you know, this is pretty rare. You've never seen like a dome piece this sort of colour. Sort of Christmassy in a way. You know, apparently that blue stuff's meant to be his eyes or something. I don't really know. But you know, so there you go. That's, and the printing, obviously you can see the yellow rings and all that. And that's just him. I don't know what his name is, but you know, he's still really cool. Just got, you know, he rests on that piece and all that. But there's nothing really much to say about him. You know, he's, again, just a little mini build. And it's really nice to have, and just another thing for the Jawas to play with. Because they like to play with their droids. That came out kind of wrong, but, you know what I mean. And yeah, that's just one of those droids. Another one of those cool droids we saw in the actual thing. Should point out, by the way, that all the droids I've been showing you were actually seen in the actual film. You know, they're not just like things Lego has made up. So, yeah. Next one we have is the Jawas. Oh yes, we've got 4 Jawas. In the previous Sandcrawler we got 3, and in fact that was the only other set we've ever got Jawas. So it's great to get some more, and for the redesign and everything. Thank you Lego so much. So many people have been wanting Jawas back, and we finally got them again. Oh my days, they're so awesome. Now there's 2 different variants. We get 4 of them, and like there's 2 of each. You can see here there are actually differences, like the torsos are different and the guns they come with are different. And it's actually kind of, you know, I'm kind of proud of the fact that Lego did that. They didn't have to. They could have just given us the same torsos and we've been fine with it. But the fact they gave us different, like, thank you Lego, you know, jeez. Thanks. Now let's start with the guns. This gun, in fact, we actually saw with the previous Jawas in the Turn 5 Sandcrawler, except they were black there actually, but now they're grey. So that's just a little thing. And these are sort of just microphones which they use. In fact, I think it's the other way around. Which they use to, like, these aren't, by the way, like, they don't kill people. They can only, like, stun the droids, you know. I think they only, like, activate the restraining bolt and stop them or something. I don't really know how they work, but, you know, they're only, like, stun blasts. Nothing really to say here. You know, we get the black, you know, black face and, like, you know, blue, I mean, it's not blue, yellow eyes, you know, because no one really knows what the face of a Jawa looks like. That's one of the big issues of Star Wars. You know, you get, obviously, you know, just that's the same for all of them. Taking their hoods off, looking at their torsos, you can see they are different, and it's very nice. You know, this one has sort of more sand damage, you know, from the extra thing. That's really awesome. These look really, really cool. My word. Going to the back. See, these look really cool. See more sand damage there. And yeah, they're awesome. Really. But that's more when I say about the Jawas. You know, they pilot thing. You get 4 of them, which is really cool. Thank you, Lego, for that. We've been wanting Jawas for so long, and finally you gave us to us. You know, a lot of the figures in here we've been wanting for a very long time, and they finally gave them to us. So I've got to say thank you, Lego, on that. But that is the last of the figures, guys. You know, I'll show you where all the figures go in a minute into the set. And yeah, but, you know, involving the set, let's actually get on to doing it then. So getting onto the set itself, it is massive, as you can see there. And because it's massive, we do get a brick separator. Nothing really to say about it though, you know, really, you're going to probably make an army of just these, because we get them in pretty much every big set since like probably the summer of last year. So, you know, you probably have quite a few of these lying about. I know I definitely do. But yeah, you get bricks everywhere, which is kind of cool. Also, these are all the spare pieces. There might be a few missing because I did lose a fair amount. Because, you know, it's difficult not to lose pieces when you've got something of this size. Nothing, you know, amazingly, you know, like you need to use it. Or, like, there's nothing, like, amazing in the spare pieces as such. It's just, well, a bunch of random pieces. Really, nothing, you know, spare. I think you've got this piece. I'm hoping this isn't actually meant to be in the set somewhere. I'm hoping I haven't, you know, misplaced it. But, yeah, so, you know, kind of cool. But, you know, there's nothing, you know, you get a lot of extra pieces, especially, like, the tread pieces, because there are, like, I don't know, 300 and something of them. So, yeah, you get a lot of that. But anyway, so the Sandcrawler is massive. And, in fact, I want to compare it. Because if you don't have the Sandcrawler, I want to compare it to something you probably might have. And I've got the Clone Turbo Tank from 2010, actually. So you can see height-wise, you know, way above. And in fact, actually, if I just, excuse me, if I just try to take the ATTE from 2013, stick that in there, and you see that. There you go. So it is clearly not a small set. And it's, well, yeah. Now we're going to take these out of shot. It's a bit longer than the Clone Turbo Tank. Just trying to move these aside. But, you know, it is, well, clearly it's wider, it's a bit longer, and it's definitely taller, so it's big. It's about, you know, about twice as many pieces as the previous Sandcrawler did, making it very large. It's wider and, in fact, longer than the old Sandcrawler, and taller. So it's just generally bigger than most things you're probably going to have. But anyway, so let's get into actually the features, which there are a ton of, and I don't really want to take any more time. This view has already probably gone on long enough. Right, so what we're going to do basically, I think we're going to sort of try to go to the front and move all the way along, you know, in just like a motion like that. So, yeah, I guess let's do this thing. Before we start, I just want to point out one of the bad things about this set, and trust when I say there aren't many, but one of the unfortunate things, and in fact, something that actually is kind of strange is the fact it doesn't actually have a handle to pick it up with. Now, obviously, you know, it's not like a starfighter or anything that's meant to fly or anything, so obviously it will be a major issue. But if you obviously want to move from place to place without actually having to rolling it across the floor, it's kind of strange the fact it doesn't have a handle. Now, don't get me wrong, the like underside, like, you know, all this bit, it is very sturdy. It could easily, you know, support the weight, you know, if you lift it from under there, and it is quite easy to lift it from under there. However, it's kind of strange the fact it doesn't have a handle anywhere on here. The only sort of thing it would, like, you know, you could say sort of as a handle is that knob there, which sort of turns the ramp. You can't really see it in this position, but I'll show you more about it later. That's the knob that sort of turns around, but you definitely do not try to hold it with that, because it'll just, you know, come flying off and you'll drop it. But then again, saying that, I think this would probably survive being dropped. You know, if you're holding it in your hands, you know, let's say at, I don't know, waist or even really eye height, you know, I think even if you dropped it, it would pretty much survive. It is a very sturdy base. I don't really think anything up on the upper section would be damaged at all. Some of the wheels might, you know, be like, you know, you might have to put the tracks back on and whatever, but really, you know, it wouldn't be a big deal. So that is a kind of strange thing, the fact there are absolutely no handles and everything, which we're getting on more sets, but, you know, that's okay, I guess. That's just a minor thing, and, you know, I'm alright with that. Alright, so we are going to start at the front, and I'm going to show you the, probably, well, main bit of how the guys get in and out, because really, you're not going to be able to get a ladder that tall to get up there. So, it is the major ramp. Now, what you basically do is it unfolds like so. Now, the thing I like about this is the fact you see these chains here. At first, I thought these were just like, you know, for effect. They didn't actually have any effect on the actual, like, going up and down. But actually, they do. These are the things that pull it up and down. I thought it was more like from here. These are actually the chains. And if you turn the knob on top, you can see, like, them tightening and going back inside. Like so. Very nice. And it doesn't matter which way you turn the knob, they go back in. I'll show you the knob in a minute. Also, the thing you can see inside here is there is a crane that comes out, which is kind of cool. There are two of these cranes, one that's inside, which I'll show you later, and obviously this one. Now, just to show you from the side angle, it goes in that far so you can't see it at all, and then it comes out from here. It's sort of like it's in there somewhere, so they may not seem like very, you know, far in, but, you know, nonetheless, it's still kind of far out. I want to show you how far the string goes. Wow, that is long. It's going all the way to the camera from there. That is ridiculous. This is a ridiculously long string. It must be more than a foot long, and that is ridiculous. And can I just tell you, it is one of the biggest pains in the known universe to tie the string on to here and to there, because, you know, you have to do it twice, otherwise it comes undone, and it's just such a massive pain. I cannot tell you. It just, oh my word, it is by far one of the longest, you know, hardest just things to do about the set is tying on the strings, and I really wish they sort of had it pre-tied or something, I don't know. But anyway, now there are actually these accessories that are somewhere inside the set. I'll show you them later, where they go, and you can sort of attach them to the hook, you see, like so. Now this particular one is like a claw, so, you know, I don't know, for example, like you could, if you, for example, did that, and there you go, he's holding an astromech. Obviously, it's not, the claws aren't actually holding it, it's just like attached to the, like, top of it, but, you know, it kind of looks like he's holding it. Or you could use the actual, like, magnet clamp we sort of see, and there you go. Kind of cool, same system. Or you could use whatever this is, what it's called. Now what this is meant to attach to is these crates, which you get 3 of. They are also stored within the set, and I'll show you more about these later on. They're completely empty, you can put whatever you want here, and I really love the design of these. They're so simple and they're just really cool. And what you do, you simply put them on top, and then fold these things down, and they clip underneath those. Okay. And hoist it up. And there you go. And it's not going to come undone. You know, there you go. And that's really cool. You can, you know, just wind it up as you see with this knob. It takes a little while because, as I said, it is like a foot long or something. Continue to wind. Oh, it came off. Okay, and to fold it back in, you need to fold this in. And obviously then push it back in. And then you turn the knob on top. And thus in it goes. You can see the sort of system there. I really like that. Also, if you notice down there, look at those lights, okay, as you know, I'm folding it down. Okay, they're like that, and then when you pull them up again, the lights sort of come up with it. It didn't really work right then because I'm doing a review and it sort of hates me, but actually normally it sort of comes up fully. Like when it goes down, and when it goes up, the lights come up as well. So that is really awesome, actually, the way it happened. I'm not sure if that was more coincidence, or if Lego intended that, but either way, it is really awesome. Now to show you on top, this is the knob right there. That is basically what you turn. It doesn't matter which way you turn it. You know, you turn it that way and it goes down, or you turn it to the other way, it goes up, like so. It really doesn't matter, you know, either way is absolutely fine. And yeah, so let's now show you the cockpit. Looking at the cockpit on top now, compared to actually the rest of the set, the top of it isn't incredibly detailed. It is quite detailed, but like comparing it to, for example, the back of it and other places, you know, it's pretty basic, you know, just with your general sort of different colours and all that. Now open it up, you can see, you know, pretty basic, like, it can sort of stay up on its own if you put it in the right position, but really what you're meant to do is bend it backwards, so it is completely like so, you know, and it just, you know, flops down like that. Now inside here, we can see, obviously, you know, the control panels and all of that. You know, these are where the Jawas are meant to sit. I'll just position my camera that way. And, well, yeah, and basically you have 4 control panels. Well, technically 5, you know, like the front one and then 4 others. And in fact, you sort of have another control panel back there. And I believe that's C-3PO, if I'm not mistaken, you know, sort of walking the woods. Or rather Tatooine. And I love the way there we have like that skeleton. We actually saw in the Clone Wars movie when they're going on Tatooine, and we, you know, sort of like one of those things of Tatooine, which we sort of see it. Now you can put the Jawas in here, obviously, because it wouldn't be much of a cockpit if you couldn't. You get 4 Jawas. They can go in obviously many different places. Just, you know, put them like so. And like so, there you go. You got all the 4 Jawas in there now. You can obviously take them out and put them in different parts of the set. You do really have to sort of take off their guns to put them in there properly, because these sort of spaces are fairly small. They are kind of hard to, like, you know, put the Jawas in there. All these, by the way, are stickers. And by the way, all these 4 control panels are very slightly different. You know, like some of them sort of have numbers and others like other things, but they're very slightly different. Nothing really much to say about it. If I just take one out, you can see here, you know, I think like the thing in the middle is slightly different. It's sort of like, you know, on each one, but there's nothing really amazingly special. Not even really worth taking it out, actually. So yeah, I'm going to draw attention back here. There are a bunch of hinge pieces, like these things here. I don't really know why there are so many hinge pieces. I suppose it was obviously connected, but it's not like they couldn't use another different type of connection. Now you can sort of move this thing all the way up to 90 degrees, which, you know, isn't accurate. It's not really meant to. You know, nothing. It doesn't really do anything. But so yeah. Also the fact that the way these actual parts connect to the other bits, you know, is sort of like a hinge piece as well. And it's kind of strange that there are so many hinge pieces. But you know, zooming in on this bit now, we see that these bits can actually go up and down, like inside the things. I'm not entirely sure what the point of that was. I suppose it's just to help in like it going over, you know, all the way over and under and all that. But other than that, though, you know, really that's the cockpit. Really, that's kind of awesome. The high point of the set, and yeah, a really awesome cockpit, and it just simply slides down. It doesn't connect, by the way. Like, if you turned it upside down, it would just fly open. But obviously, with the Sandcrawler, it's not really a major issue to turn it upside down. So, but nonetheless, that's still, you know, kind of cool. And now looking at the right side, or left side, I suppose, depending on which way you're looking at it, we've got, like, the major part of the set, which is the, you know, middle bit, the main part where you got all the opening flaps and all that. So where to start, basically? Let's start over here. We've got this opening flap. You simply pull this thing, and it opens like so. And yeah, it's kind of hard to see in there, but basically, there's nothing really to say, you know, it's probably for easy access. If perhaps you've dropped something in there, or, you know, whatever, and you want to go get it, then you can just open that flap and easy, you know, you see the other containers there. There are 3 of them, you know, two of them sit there, and that other pod I'm going to show you in a minute sits in there as well. Obviously that's the exact same on the other side, but I might show you that anyway. You know, let's go to this flap. This one is the bigger one. This one goes up all the way, like, to a 480-degree angle. And it's basically the same concept in here. You know, if you drop something, you can probably just pick it up a lot easier. And it's just got a bunch of opening flaps. You can actually see there, that is the mechanism for turning the wheels. Oops, sorry. That is the mechanism for turning the wheels right there. It's kind of hard to keep this open. You know, as it, like, you know, with the wheels and everything, as you can see, oops, if I just move this back, and the wheels turn. So, you know, that's kind of cool to see there. Also, you see that peg that I'm pointing you right there? I just try to zoom in. Okay, that is the point of where this goes. If you remember right, I showed you the connection this earlier. You just simply slot that on. If I can, you just simply, okay, there you go, and it stays there. So that's a really cool thing. You know, obviously you can keep it on the crane if you want to, but you know, that's just generally where you put it, in the back of the thing. And there you go. Onto, you know, you got some stickers down here on the wheels. You know, they are stickers. You got some stickers right there. You can see my sticker ability isn't exactly the best in the world. And then you got this flap. Now, you may already know what this flap is meant for, but basically it is meant for these canisters. It's meant for easy access, and it is actually accurate. However, I think in the actual thing, it's meant to just be a hole rather than a flap. Well, I might be wrong, but what you basically do, obviously imagine there's something in here, you simply, like, there's nothing keeping it here, it's just completely hanging free. You simply slide it in. And you heard it, you know, do that. I'll show you what happened later. Basically, it sort of slotted into position, which is kind of cool. You can sort of see the detailing and all of that. There are a ton of studs here, whereas on the Turn 5 model, it was pretty much all bricks, you know, actually made it. Whereas this one, you can see it's all studs and everything, and you're that. There's a sticker there, by the way. That's the exact same on the other side as well. Down here, if you actually move down, okay, we have a ladder. This is again the same on the other side. That folds down. Although saying that, it's not really, you know, much of a purpose, because if they climb up there, they'll just end up here. It's like, oh, where do I go now? But you know, that's still kind of cool to have. Now, what's actually meant to happen is meant to be a suction thing. There's a sucker bar D2 that comes down from here, because it's not size accurate, and because of a bunch of other things, obviously they don't have that. But nonetheless, you know, so that's pretty much the side of the vehicle. We got a lot of Technic going on up here, as well as down the side, up that side as well, you know, just a load of Technic. By the way, I just want to point out, in the building process, this, like, this sort of bit, you know, this bit, is actually not technically attached to anything. It's like, held in, it's hard to explain, but it's sort of held in by just, like, gravity, if you will. I mean, obviously, it won't fall out if you tip it upside down, but, like, when you put it in at first, it's just basically, like, there's these slots down below, and there's just, like, these pins that sort of slide in, but they're not really, you know, so that's kind of funny, the fact it's not really connected, per se. I mean, it's connected to these, obviously, but, you know, you can sort of see where I'm getting at here. We've got some very nice detailing over there. You know, we've just got some very nice detailing generally all around, you know, very nice, very cool. Yeah. look more at the wheels, you can see underneath there, you know, it does have like 2 treads on each one. Like, is a 2 tread or whatever, I don't know. So basically there are 8 of these things, you know, and they're such a pain. There's like, I don't know, 300 and something of those treads, because you've got to make like 8 of them. You know, and you basically just double the same thing. You basically do the same thing 4 times more or less on each different thing, because, you know, they are exactly the same. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And well, yeah, really, that's basically the if I'm not mistaken, that is basically the side of the vehicle, right, or left, I suppose, depending on your angle. But let's go on the other side, you know, very brief view of what that would be like. Alright, so here we are on the other side, and as I said before, it's exactly the same. These flaps fold up and all that, except on this time, on this side, we have a ladder. Yay! Don't know why it's only on this side, not the other side, but it is only meant to be on this side. And what basically happens, it simply folds out, like so. And yeah, it doesn't actually quite reach the bottom. And if you actually take a Jawa, they can like barely, oh sorry, you can't actually see that, but like they can barely sort of reach it. They're barely towards the ladder, so they can't really reach it. So not actually that accurate, but nonetheless, still kind of cool. And the ladder basically, you know, just folds in, and like so, just, you know, folds in like that. But other than that, though, it is exactly the same on either side. One thing I forgot to show you, in fact, on the other side was the main feature, probably, of the side, and that is obviously these bits. Yay! There's actually, well, I didn't include it in the minifigure part, but I suppose you could call it a minifigure. I suppose it really isn't, but like basically, you know, all this, and these things fall out. See, these actually are purposely, like, you know, sort of slippery and not actually just straight. They don't, like, sit on studs in here. So I assume when you open the things, they are meant to, just, like, roll out for some reason. But I don't really know why. By the way, just saying, I showed you before the canister can just go through here easily. This can easily as well go through there. I'm not actually going to do it right now, but, you know, you can see you can just easily go through, as well as, obviously, this crate and all that. Now, you get... These are 3 different types of containers. Well, not really that different, I suppose, but, you know, you get what I'm saying here. And they are exactly the same on the other side. And I'm going to show you later, in each of these you can hear it, there's 1 piece in each container. There's 6 of them, and together they make like a little mini droid thing, which I suppose you could call a minifigure, because it is and it isn't, but, you know, really, I'm kind of on the fence whether it is genuinely a minifigure. I mean, I don't think it's really counted as a minifigure, like in the actual minifigure section. But nonetheless, you know, there you go. But other than that, though, that is pretty much, you know, the entire sides of the Sandcrawler. Pretty cool, you know, the biggest part of them. But yeah, really, that is the sides. Just keep it there. Okay, that is the sides of the Sandcrawler. I actually turned it over to look at the bottom here. You can sort of see, you know, the way it works. These things just work on the same sort of system. It doesn't matter whether it's, you know, it can be in any position. They just work in unison. These do not turn. They are fixed, you know. They just don't. However, saying that, apart from that, these wheels are all exactly the same. You basically create this section, like, what, 8 times or something, you know. So that is kind of annoying, and that's, yeah. Also, these ladder pieces... If I just zoom in out here, as I said, you do get 2 of them on opposite sides. These ladder pieces just do simply fold out, and but yeah, really, those are just the wheels I wanted to show you. You get like, I don't know how many of these pieces, you know, how many of these pieces you must get. Like, I don't know. Well, there's 10 on each of these. That's like 80. Wow, that's 80 of these things. I can't even fix it now. Okay, so there you go, and those are the wheels. Oh, that's the knob, if you don't already know, but you know. So those are the wheels, and that's what it rides on. Very sturdy, by the way, you know, it's not going to break. You can easily hold it by the wheels, and it will, you know, it's very sturdy, the bottom here. It can easily support its own weight, so, yeah. Starting off, we have Luke Skywalker. Now I'm just going to take his blue lightsaber off here at the moment, because he does obviously come one, because it's not technically accurate to the actual scene, because this is a scene where him and his uncle go to buy the droid, you know, R2-D2 and C-3PO, and at this point he hasn't actually met Obi-Wan Kenobi yet, so he doesn't have his blue lightsaber. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not like, I don't blame Lego, I'm not angry because of that or anything, because it's not technically consistent, because at the end of the day, if you do really want to recreate the scene, just take his lightsaber off, it's not a big deal, I don't really care if he comes with a lightsaber. It's just, it's not a big deal, really. So more into the figure itself, this figure isn't really anything ridiculously special. Comparing him to the Channel 11 one we've got in the Millennium Falcon, you can see the only real differences are the face, which has slightly more detail, and the legs, really. The torsos, I think, are exactly the same, except the new one is actually slightly less detailed. As you can see there, the old one had more wrinkles. Starting with the legs, the major difference is the colour of the actual legs themselves. Now, the problem with the old one was the fact that, and not just this figure, but all of them, when you're trying to print, like, lighter colours onto darker, body parts, the darker thing sort of tends to show through. That's why this white... Looking at the back of the Sandcrawler now, you can see this is definitely the part that has the most amount of detail. I'm really glad of what Lego did here. It has so much sort of stuff here. So much different textures, there's just so much stuff. It looks really, really cool. In my personal opinion, one of the best looking part of the set. It looks really, really awesome, I do have to say. You can see again here the knob, which you simply turn either way, and the wheels at the bottom do indeed turn with them. These here are stickers, and all that. Very nice stickers, but nonetheless. And they sort of like folds underneath. You can sort of see under there, like they do fold under the thing. So that's kind of cool. Nothing really much to say about it, though. This doesn't fold out or anything. No, it's just like that, which is cool. So it's basically just the amount of detailing is really awesome. You can also, by the way, see these little. I love these little pieces, like these little things there. They look really cool. But I'll show you more in detail when I take this bit off. But yeah, that's basically the back of the Sandcrawler, and yeah, it looks really cool. And well, yeah, that has to be the best looking part of the set. You must agree, because it looks really cool. Alright, so here we are on the top of the Sandcrawler. You can see here there's quite a bit of detailing on this section. Now, if you don't already know, these two parts do obviously lift off for probably the easiest way to get into the insides and like meddle about and all that. Again, this is the just knob piece that sort of sticks out, and there's like a gap there, which turns the like motors and things for the ramp to go up and down. Nothing really to say there. But yeah, you can basically see what you get here, and yeah, it's very nice, there's two sections. You simply slide it on and off. It's very light, It's not really held in there by anything, like it's not really attached to any studs. You could attach it to some studs theoretically, but obviously you're not really going to turn it upside down, are you? So you might as well just sort of let it lie on there, and just, well, yeah, really. Now, looking on the inside, we've got a bunch of stuff. This is the area where everything is happening. Alright, we've got right there, you can see this, like that pod thing. That's the thing I'm about to show you. That's the section where it lays. Also, the crane I showed you at first, this is the hinge piece that stops it from just like, like flying out as far as possible. These are where the barrels are stored, or whatever these are, containers. As I said, like 3 times now, you get 3 of them. And they're stored in those little sections there, same for each one. Also, as I said before, do you remember when I showed you it sort of slides in through that ramp piece in the sides? That is where it ends up. Now, to show you that again, now you got to remember, like the sort of side bit, like the opening door and whatever. It's simply, if we zoom in, we actually move the crane to the other side. Alright, we see that. Okay, and there you go. It simply slides on down, down these ramp things. You can do it on either side, obviously. But yeah, and it just simply slots into place, That's a really cool feature. I love the way they did that, I just love the way they did that, really. Just really epic. You've seen a lot of action shots of the inside, of Jawa was, messing about with it and all that. Actually, it's probably more cramped than you may think it is. Seems in the back here. Oops. Actually, let's just take this off. In the back, more here, you have more of like the actual motors and like the actual things for the wheels and stuff. And in the front, it's more to do with the crane and stuff like that. So it's actually probably more cramped than you may think it is. But nonetheless, it's still pretty, you know, open up, you know, for these things. Now, the main thing probably, as I told you before, we get another crane. It's really awesome. This one's probably far more maneuverable than the one in the front, because it's got like many more points of articulation. It can go from side to side, just along a simple rail, you know, and all that. It can stay in that position, obviously, or it can go up. Okay. You know, it's the same crane though in the way that, you know, it's got the same cable and all that. And it can extend that far, basically. And this basically goes out pretty far. Oops. Yeah, that is a small problem with the fact that it only attaches by like this little piece. Therefore, it can be, you know, a major problem with the fact you pull the string out too hard or fast. Yeah, sorry, that sounded a bit wrong. Anyway, that it can sort of just pull the whole thing out. So, yeah. But basically, it's the same concept as I saw in the crane in the beginning, where you can just attach like a, you know, one of those pieces to, you know, the end of this and pick up one of those crates or whatever. And perhaps, you know, you could like zoom out, you know, like the crane could go to the outside, pick it up, pull it in, you know, drop it. And whatever, you know, anything like that. There's just a bunch of different ways you can get it into the Sandcrawler. There's like 2 different cranes, there's the whole system, it's just, yeah. So, but basically, you know, there you go. Moving on to this section, because it's sort of one section. I was going to do this separately, but really, it's the same sort of thing. Nothing really much to say about here. As I said before, that is where that piece is held. Also, those other 2 pieces, if I just get them, you see this piece, oops, this piece and the other one. They're held on these 2 pins. See? And then you've got the other one. And there you go. And they hold those 2 pins, and simple as. And that's the same, just, you know, the wheel turning system. So, yeah, that's pretty much the space you have. And inside there, you know, and you've got all this stuff. And that's, if you can see, the beginning of the ramp. And you turn this knob. Show you that again, really. You can see them sort of like turning up those they're sort of unwinding and all that. That's kind of cool. And yeah, basically, that's more or less the Sandcrawler, to be honest with you. I'm going to show you this part. I've got to be honest with you, the most tedious part about building this. You may be thinking, is it one of those builds, you know, that takes forever, and like it feels like it takes forever? In some parts, yes, in some parts, no. It comes with 16 numbered bags. Now, some of the bags are like duplicates, in the way that, you know, you may have like 2 number 16 bags or 2 number 15 bags. The ones that really, you know, like are tedious and annoy you are probably the parts when you're trying to make the strings, you know, and, well, I mean, you know, tie the strings on. And more the technic part, which is probably more this section. That's more the technic part, you know, because that's just, it's tedious and it's annoying and, you know, it takes forever. And it sort of feels like you're not making any progress, because it doesn't look, you know, after like half an hour of work, it looks like you've barely done anything, because, you know, it looks like you've only made something really small. But, you know, nonetheless, and what you simply do, if obviously you want to put it back, is you slide it on. You can attach it on, like, actually, and attach the studs, but you don't really have to, and why would you really, because it's not going to turn upside down. And then just simply slide that, oops, on there. If I can actually, yeah. Onto this section, showing you some of the detail. That is very nice detail on there. Pretty basic, but I love, you know, these pieces. These are very rare pieces, actually. We don't really ever see these, do we? Well, at least maybe we do, but maybe in like some of the old Indiana Jones sets or things, you know, but these sort of barrel pieces, at the very least, we don't really see them in Lego City that much, you know. It's been quite a while since we've seen, you know, these pieces, so it's really cool the fact that they've brought those back. But yeah, so, you know, just some real nice detail here, and that's just really cool, generally. But yeah, that's basically the insides and like the roof of the thing. Yeah, just another quick look inside, if you really do want one, because I know you love it inside. Yeah, that's just the insides. With all those 3 crates, you can put all sorts in there. The astromechs, the anything, and that's, by the way, the section. You see that? Yeah, that sort of sharp, not sort of sharp, but you know, piece. That goes in. If I actually zoom out, you see this hole in this sort of, I don't know what the speeder, whatever it is. You see that sort of gap? Yeah, that's where it's meant to like go in, attached to. So, you know, there you go. And yeah, that's more or less the set actually. It's kind of funny. It didn't actually take me long to review as I thought it would. But you know, anyway, so that is kind of the set. And we will now conclude this review. Alright, so I just wanted to show you this last bit of the set. We have this little thing. The Jawas, I believe, are meant to just, you know, ride it. I'm not sure like that, maybe like this or something. But I assume this part is meant to, like, you know, I don't know, maybe meant to put something there, like an astromech droid or something. I'm not sure if he's meant to go like in the front here or in like the back. But you know, that's a sticker also, by the way. And then, as I showed before, this part does, you know, just attach in that little slot thing. These pieces are actually quite common in this set, actually. So you know, and yeah, basically that's just, you know, what happens, and he just attaches like so. I can't bother to, you know, put his hand in the thing, but I think you can guess how it works. You might be able to put 2 in there if you wanted, maybe even a 3rd, you know, in the back. Not sure what you need to put here. Maybe put this droid or something in the back. But you know. So yeah, that's just a little thing, and you can just easily slide it back into the Sandcrawler, and yeah. Now let's get on to the actual instructions. Now we've actually done the set. It only comes with 1 instruction manual, as I think actually most UCS sets come with 1 instruction manual. But it is massive, it is thick, and it is scary. As this is my only ever UCS set, I didn't really expect it to be this big. My word, you know, it's just it's thick. Now in the front, now normally the thing is, with most UCS sets they give us sort of like a plaque, like a little black piece of, you know, well, black brick, and it's sort of got all the information on it. But they didn't give us in that set, which is kind of unfortunate. I was kind of liking that. However, what they did give us, maybe because it was like 15 years since LEGO Stars began, was a lot of information at the beginning. We have all about the Sandcrawler, a bunch of information about it on the first 2 pages. That's really awesome. And then on this page, you know, we have all those specs there. You can pause the video if you want to read them, you know, and to see what it all means. And, you know, it's just really awesome. It's really cool. And then we've actually got about the Sandcrawler and stuff. Apparently, this guy, the guy who designed those 2 sets, sort of helped design it. So, you know. And it's a bunch of information. Then we got, like, you know, we've seen a video of this guy actually reviewing it. He's the guy who actually properly designed it, you know, and all that. Meet the model maker, you know, all that stuff. We've got a bunch of information here. My word, it's ridiculous. And there we go. And with the brick shipper and all that. You can see 16 numbered bags. It's actually quite heavy, this instruction manual. Now, some of these have more than 1. Like, for example, there are 2 number 16s, 2 number 15s, and just a bunch of different stuff, you know. So there's quite a lot here. And it's kind of daunting. In the back, we have a bunch of other UCS sets. That's really awesome. We have the, what's it called? X-Wing, yeah. The Endor Village, which I really want to get one day. I really want to get that. It looks awesome. We have the B-Wing. Yeah, I don't really want to get that. It looks kind of boring and really kind of useless. R2-D2, I want to get him. He looks kind of cool as a, you know, thing. You could probably tear the pages out and use them as like posters if you wanted to, you know. So that'd be really awesome. And then in the back we get all the features of the Sandcrawler. You know, all the, you know, it comes off. You can grab it by the thing. Wheels move. All that. You got the ladders and all the flaps. These open. You know, these fall out. And all that. And yeah, you can sort of see that, yeah, sort of an action shot of like the yellow eyes of the thing. Kind of looks evil. It's kind of scary. And by the way, those things look like they're about to fall on their head. You can sort of see them. And they're rolling down. They look like they're about to crush them. So that's kind of unfortunate. But, you know, there you go. And that's basically it. It's got like 3 pages of inventory. You know, and it's just, my word. It's got 298 pages of build. That's crazy. Holy cow, it's nearly 300 pages. That's ridiculous. Ugh. Yeah, so that is a big instruction manual. Also, you may notice that in most well, not most, but some UCS sets, you get more like a metal binder thing. This one you don't. It's just like, it's more like a book, really, like a, you know, hardback book, with sort of just like a hard section here. On the back, we have, of course, this kid. I wonder if this kid gets paid every time they put him on like an instruction manual. He must be like a millionaire then. But there you go. There you go. That is the Lego Star Wars Sandcrawler. Yeah. And I forgot to mention, this is the little guy you get, as I showed you before. You know, like you have all these different canisters things that fall out of the side. You know, and this is basically the little guy. Yeah, this little guy you get. Each one of these pieces came in one of these different containers, and this is basically just the little guy that you create. Yeah, apparently in the actual like picture on like the box, he's hanging with this guy. So apparently they're friends or something. I don't know. This guy I don't believe was in Star Wars. Just something Lego probably made up. Really nothing special about him. Just a little thing. Yeah. Can't really use him. Just like a little droid apparently. That Lego thought, you know, it'd be nice to put in there. And it was kind of nice to put in there. It was kind of nice, you know, for the little kids, you know, to like have these special compartments where you can actually put like each piece of the droid in, and, you know, it's kind of cool. And obviously, as I showed you before, they do just sort of slide out of the compartments on the side of the Sandcrawler. But yeah, really, that's it then. That's basically just, you know, the little droid. Each one of those parts come from there. Okay. And now on to the box. Well, definitely the biggest part. Oh my days, it can barely fit in the shot. That's as you go to the top. It is very thick because it is, well, belongs to a very thick, you know, set. We see here, these are all the minifigures. Oh, so it does have the names, apparently R5, D4, and that just has an R2 unit. Oh, he gets a name, but he doesn't. That's sad. And apparently that's an R1 series droid. That's a treadmill droid, and obviously that's a Gonk droid because, you know, Gonk droid. Yay, Gonk, Gonk. Anyway, and you can see it's bigger than the previous Sandcrawler in both height and length. So, you know, pretty damn big. Yeah, you can see in the bottom of the box here. Ultimate Collector Series, Star Wars, you know, UCS. I've never got a box with this sort of thing. I might keep this box, you know, just for memorial sakes and all that. You can see the sort of the action scene here. I could give you the backstory, like, I think it's meant to be like a mining world right now. Yeah. That looks like Tatooine, you know, all that sand and everything. And, well, yeah, basically. Oh, even back. Oh, apparently a container's meant to go on the back of this. So that's something, you know, learn something new every day. Just look at it, wow. What a big box. Lego Star Wars. No piece count on the side, unfortunately, because it is European. You can see all the figures here, you know, and all that. Lars and the Jawa are, you know, discussing things and all stuff. And that are 2 units being destroyed, because that's, you know, in the movie. And they're chatting. Turning it over, we just get another picture here of the Sandcrawler. And in fact, another Ultimate Collector Series symbol. Oh my word. And we get more, yet more of these features. You know, opens up all this stuff. Very cool, very cool. These are basically the same stuff we saw in the instruction manual. You can sort of build, you can read that if you want to. You know. And there you go, it's basically the same shot as before. Just really, really nice. And on the side here, oh gosh. Wow, this is big. On the side here, we have the sort of, I don't know what this is meant to be really, it's just like the Sandcrawler with sort of like a see-through bed. Don't really know what that is. Normally in the like normal size sets we'd get like the dimensions of it, you know, you'd have on the back of the box, if you know what I mean. Like it will scale and everything, you know, that's kind of cool. Ultimate Lego Styles Collector Series. Oh yes. But that's basically it. Very thick box. Holy cow. Oh gosh. Sorry guys. I'm dropping the camera and all sorts. Okay. This is not going very well. But yeah, that's basically the set. Also, I want to show you here. There's another quite large container. I've just put all the bags in. That actually came with all the spare bags. Basically, you had this box inside of it. And what happens, as I've said a few times, you know, there are more than one of some bags. Like you get 2 number bags, 16s. And basically what this is for all the extras. Like what you get in the box normally is one of every bag, right? And then if you have another of that numbered bag, you get them in here for some unknown reason. Now normally this would be for the instructions, but clearly they didn't do that. So I don't really know why they didn't do that, but well, they didn't. Also the fact that I can just reach it. For the instructions, you do have this metal, not metal, sorry, cardboard, you know, thing to keep them straight, and that's awesome and everything. But for some reason, you do get this sort of thing to carry all the extra bags, which is kind of strange, but you know, whatever, I guess. And there you go. All right, so then, I guess let's conclude this mammoth of a review. So there we go then, this UCS Sandcrawler set number 75059. Well, it's been 9 years and possibly one of the most anticipated sets ever. I can't tell you how many times I've seen so many comments. People saying, can we have another Sandcrawler, can we have another Sandcrawler? And finally, clearly, LEGO obliged, you know, so on May 4th, or well, a bit earlier, but you know, they've given us the UCS Sandcrawler, and can I say, you know, the old Sandcrawler was great, but this one has to be better in pretty much every way. Just generally, it's an awesome set. It looks awesome. It is definitely worth the price. The minifigures are great. The amount of features is through the roof. Just everything about it is epic. Just, yeah. And obviously, it's very sentimental to me because it's my first ever UCS set. So, yeah, it's a great set. Now, as I said in the beginning, if you can only afford some sets and you don't have all the money in the world, then I suppose I wouldn't recommend it because, you know, you can spend that money on the summer line and other stuff like that, which is probably going to be more worth it. You know, you could buy 8080 or Star Destroyer or a bunch of other things, you know, Mos Eisley Cantina, for the same sort of money, you know, then rather than buying this. Don't be wrong, it's a great set, it really is. I will give it a solid, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. That's what I'm going to give it right now. I'm very close to 10, but you know, just, yeah. Because it is a great set, but you know, with that sort of money, you could get a lot of other things. But I mean, obviously, ultimately, it's up to you. If you really think this is worth it, then yeah, sure, spend the money. But I mean, you know, that's just my opinion. So it is a really great set. You know, I can't really ask for any more. I mean, it'd be nice if we had sort of, as I said in the beginning, a sort of wife for Uncle Lars. But you know, what we're gonna do. Yeah. But thank you guys for watching. Just want to show you up there. Yeah, I put the little guy in. I know it's kind of corny, but you know, he felt so lonely, and seems like he wasn't a proper droid. He wasn't a proper minifigure in the set. So yeah, I just put him in on top of that anyway, instead of down here. So yeah, but anyway, so there you go then. If you like this review, please do give it a like down below, because that would be greatly appreciated. It really does, you know, help me out. It does, you know, shows me that you like what I'm doing, you know, and all that. Please leave a comment down below on any questions. I do try my very, very best to answer all questions put to me, sorry. So, you know, ask away, you know, it doesn't really have to be LEGO Star Wars related if it doesn't want to, you know, you can ask me what my favourite colour is, or whatever, but I will try to answer it, and obviously, please subscribe to my channel, because that would also be great. That would be, like, one of the best things you can do. But yeah, so that is my review of the UCS Sandcrawler. My speed build, or let's build, will be down in the description as well. Please go check that out, and just, yeah, so I recommend it. But yeah, if you have like a ton of money, then yeah, I definitely recommend it. If you can afford it, definitely buy it, because it is awesome and just well worth the money, right? So there you go. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this review, please give a like down below. Please comment and please subscribe to my channel. And that is it. I will see you in my next review. I do a lot of these reviews. I try to do this as quickly as possible. I actually did it quite quickly this time. I was one of the first people to ever do it, and I'm quite proud of that. So, yeah, so I guess we'll get ready for the summer line now. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next review. Keep being awesome. Bye, troops.